What's shaking booktube? My name's Cam, welcome back to another video. This is, what am I doing today? Don't worry about that, I've got some, nuggets in the oven. Oh, Valentine's Day, the loveliest day of the year. Unless you're me. You know, I said this same thing last year, but it's still happening. There's rumors going around that I don't have a Valentine. No one's asked me to be their Valentine. I don't have any prospect for a Valentine. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. I could get a Valentine. I simply choose not to, you know? I'm like, yeah. Wouldn't be fair on the other guys. I'd much prefer to spend Valentine's Day sitting here telling you about 5 more book characters that I would date. I also want to take a quick moment just to thank all of the new subscribers that have come through lately. My channel's kind of just bounced up a bit. Like, I won't say it's surged upwards in the scale of subscribers, but it has bounced up a bit. I'm not sure why, but I'm thankful.
Subscribe.
You know, YouTube's a nice place.
Subscribe to the channel.
Sometimes you're down. You don't really know
Subscribe
why
now. Subscribe to
but it
the
is
channel.
nice. Gives you a bit of a confidence boost.
Subscribe.
Five book characters I would date. I'm going to preface this by stating that these aren't 5 characters I think I could date if they were real people. It's just 5 that I would, so they don't have to want me. But you never know. The first lovely lady that I would date, or take out on a date for Valentine's Day, is Trillian from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Aside from being described in a weird and questionable way in the book, I think the wording was vaguely Arabic. Trillian is, by all other means, a great character. She's adventurous, she's fun, and she's not exactly a pushover either. You know, perhaps there's a bias being that I have a massive celebrity crush on Zooey Deschanel, but the description in the book wouldn't really match up with Zoe, I would say, and it could go either way. Book Trillian also is described as being quite an attractive woman, and those traits are only enhanced by how adventurous she is. So adventurous, that's the word I'm going to use there, adventurous. Number 2 is going to sound a bit weird, but bear with me. Professor McGonagall, right? But a young version of Professor McGonagall. Now, in her younger years, I think at about 18 years old, Professor McGonagall wasn't against dating muggles, because she was engaged for a certain point to a farmer's son, a muggle named McGregor. So, you know, that's one check in my box. I can get away with being a muggle, so that's okay. But I'm sure I don't need to explain to you the attractive qualities of someone like Professor McGonagall, aside from being fiercely loyal. She's also just... she's kind of intimidating, but in a weird way. She just seems like the type of girl who, at the age of 18, or let's say at my age, closer to the age of 24, she would have been an interesting person and an attractive person to date. It would have been like you two against the world, sort of thing, you know? The word I would use for her is trustworthy. Her fierce sense of loyalty is something that you could always put stock in. You could always have faith that she would have your back and be a faithful and loyal partner. Plus, being a fucking badass is just a sexy trait in itself. So there you have it. It's on the internet now, for all time, me saying I would love to date Professor McGonagall. They may ask me a few years down the line, do you think you'd still date Professor McGonagall? And I would say, always. Number 3 is Storm from Marvel Comics, another character much in the same groove or vein as Professor McGonagall. She's fiercely loyal and just badass. She's been the leader and the protector of the X-Men on various and extensive instances. She has been the leader. She had one of the most interesting story arcs, being that she went from being a child who was discriminated against not only for being a mutant, but for other obvious reasons. And she had to work through the anger of wanting to use her abilities to get justice, and rising from that to be a better person. Not only did she beat the anger, she managed to master it and became a leader role for other mutants. When Jean Grey went off to be Dark Phoenix, Storm was the next in line to take over the Xavier Mansion as headmaster. And you know, probably helps that she was portrayed by Halle Berry, so there's something. Number 4 is Annie Wilkes from Misery. No. Number 4 is... Let me finish. Number 4 is Violet Baudelaire from the Series of Unfortunate Events books, but older. But older. But older. But old. By the end of the Series of Unfortunate Events books, I think she's about 16, and just from reading and traveling with those 3 characters, Sunny, Klaus, and Violet, through the stories, you see what an ingenuitive and compassionate and smart as fucking hell character she really is. All very attractive qualities in a woman, not so much a child. But you need to keep in mind that I read these stories when I was around that age, or actually younger, so if we were to keep it in the same timeline, much like Hermione Granger, etc., she would actually be around the same age as me now, or older. When reading those books, back in the day, reading the Series of Unfortunate Events books, and I was around the same age as Violet, I was attracted to her because she was an incredibly clever and protective person of her younger siblings. Plus, can you imagine dating someone who can invent almost anything out of anything, like real MacGyver shit? I mean, you're chilling with her on the couch watching Netflix, right? There's a fresh slice of cheesecake in the freezer, but you don't want to get up and get it. All you've got is a rubber band and a couch cushion. She's gonna find a way to get you that cheesecake without stepping foot off the couch. That's her deal. Yes, please. And number 5, last but not least, on the lucky list of Cam's future dates that will never actually be dates because they're fictional, and why am I so alone, God, why am I so alone? Is Georgia, or Mary Beth from the book I recently read, Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. This is a book I've been talking about a lot in my recent videos and probably will be talking about more going forward, and that is because it's a fucking brilliant book, first of all, but there's a character in here called Mary Beth. The main character, Jude Coyne, refers to her as Georgia, just because he calls girls that he liaises with by their hometown, because he's a player. But he calls her Georgia at the start, goes on to realize her name is Mary Beth. When he gets more attached to her, he calls her Mary Beth, and she basically sticks with him through some of the roughest shit that could possibly happen to a person. There's at least 100 instances where I would have been the fuck out of that, I would have dipped, but she stuck with him. That's a kind of badass loyalty in instances where she nearly died, and she would have died, and she was presented with opportunities to run and be safe, but she stuck with him anyway because she wanted to get him through this. She wanted to get the main character through it. I think it's clear that that kind of love and loyalty is super rare. I don't know, I thought she was fantastic. That's all I'll say on it for now, because I'm actually still yet to do an official review on this book, and Mary Beth is a large part of that review. But as always, thanks for watching. That is another not lonely, cross that out. That is another Valentine's Day 5 book characters I would date. Make sure you tune in 2019. Maybe I'll have a girlfriend by then. Maybe not. If you want to, do the thing. Follow me on the thing, because that's where I'm most active. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Catcha. Thanks for watching, not washing. Well, I mean, thanks for washing as well. Please do wash. You don't want to... I mean, it's unhygienic if you don't wash. See, the thing about washing...